Hello everyone. So let's quickly check if I'm live and streaming because I don't know. I'm a little late because I had forgotten that I was supposed to do these sessions in the studio, and instead I set up my laptop in downstairs in front of the green screen. And suddenly when I was just starting I realized that the session has to happen here. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Why is this video private? All right, wonderful. So I am live and audible and visible. So chalo, let's start our session for the day. फटाफट से शुरू कर देते हैं. Oof, these things. All right, wonderful. So I am Okay, if you are not yet connected with me on Telegram, please use MBA CAT and connect with me on Telegram. MBA CAT 23 and connect with me on Telegram. Amazing, amazing thing. Okay, let's get started. आज का article. At times of suffering, the greatest gift is accompaniment. Well, that is a very beautiful idea that when you're suffering, all you need is somebody to stand by you, stand with you, stand alongside you, and that is the most happy thing that makes us happy. So, therefore, that is what we are saying. All right, some points to ponder. What is accompaniment? So, like I said, somebody standing with you, somebody standing beside you. That's what accompaniment is all about. All right, let's take a look at our passage for the day. पढ़ते हैं और समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. This case and many others like it exhibits a tension between autonomy and solidarity. So the cases that we are talking about and many others exhibit means to show a tension between autonomy and solidarity. So autonomy means doing things by yourself and solidarity means togetherness. So there is a tension, there is a fight between these two. Do you stand alone or do you stand with people? Right? That is the fight. Valuing autonomy guides one to let others make their own choices. So when you value autonomy, you feel okay, I will make my own choice, you will make your own choice, everybody does their own thing. And to respect those choices. Valuing solidarity guides one to take responsibility for the well-being of others and to intervene on their behalf. So when you value solidarity, you believe that you should take responsibility for the health, well-being of others and you should intervene also. Intervene means to interfere and make corrective actions. So now one thing you must always remember, the first line will always point to what the passage wants to really tell you. So that's the key here. Situations in which these values conflict prompt searching for balance. So any situation where these two values are conflicting will prompt what? Will ask you, will make you, the prompt make you search for balance where possible, perhaps by restricting the scope of rights to privacy for the sake of justice or by defining exceptions that merit disclosing information without consent. So you will require balance. Sometimes you will want to restrict the right to privacy. That you, if you need help, you should be able to access it, and not everything should be private for the sake of justice to others. And there may be some exceptions that just allow you to disclose information without consent also. In case of the patient with the breast cancer gene, her doctor's decision about how to balance autonomy and solidarity is difficult. So there is a patient who's going through breast cancer, and she has a gene which is responsible for it, but her sisters also have the same gene. So she refuses to tell the sisters that she has breast cancer. Now the doctor is in a dilemma because if he does not tell the sisters, they cannot be prepared for their oncoming cancer battles also, right? So in this case, the doctor is stuck between, should I let that patient decide her own thing, or should I also inform the sisters that they also have this gene? So that is the interesting thing here. Okay, and so the doctor's decision, this is a dilemma that the doctor is facing, and whatever decision he makes is far from straightforward. So does he go for autonomy or does he go for solidarity? Very difficult for the doctor. Some cases, however, now the minute I get this, however, I know now the story is going to change. Remember, but yet, however, always there will be a change in the story. So that's important. Are more difficult still. So there are some more cases which are even more difficult. Consider the one reported by sociologist Arthur Frank in 2016 of Faith, a 28-year-old woman with cystic fibrosis whose lungs are failing and whose doctor informs her that a transplant is likely futile. So the doctor says you probably will not be able to survive. A surgeon from another hospital is touting a new technique. So there is a surgeon from another hospital who is supposedly saying that there is a new technique that may just work. Good morning, Surendra. Good morning, Yash. Good morning, Smith. Good morning, Pratna. So there's another doctor who's saying, who's suggesting one more technique. Touting means to say that something is good or bad. That while very risky might be successful. There are doubts about the surgeon's motive. So you don't know what that surgeon is really about. So you don't doubt it. I mean, you do doubt his intentions. But because her condition is deteriorating, Faith has only 2 weeks to make a decision. Should she just let it be or should she try that new surgery? What does it mean to counsel Faith in this situation? So imagine the counselor or the doctor who has to say, well, you could go to that doctor or you could not. That is such a risky or tricky thing. She has no real autonomy here because she doesn't have a power to decide also. Because her extreme vulnerability, she is extremely weak. She is about to die, so she has no other chance of survival except for this second surgeon's supposedly miracle cure, and uncertainty about the proffered technique preclude her giving informed consent. So she cannot give informed consent. She does not know much about the new technique and she is about to die, so she is vulnerable. But valuing solidarity is inappropriate too. So at times, again, the but comes. So whenever the but, so here, believing in autonomy that she should be able to decide is very difficult. But valuing solidarity that somebody will be with her is inappropriate too, is also incorrect because the right decision on her behalf is impossible in a position of such uncertainty about the outcome. So whoever will help her make this decision will be in a very bad situation regardless. There is a very faint chance that the new surgery technique might be successful. So if a current doctor suggests that and the surgery fails, well, poor Faith and poor doctor. So that is a risk, and therefore accompaniment or therefore solidarity may be very, very tricky. Okay. Very interesting, huh? Faith's life limiting condition is difficult because it induces despair, dissonance, and desolation. So her life limiting condition is difficult, right? This is a difficult situation because it causes what? It causes despair, it causes dissonance, and it causes desolation. Desolation means isolation, loneliness. Despair is hopelessness, and dissonance, of course, is a sort of disconnect with the world. So she is facing this, right? Or do you see the alliteration here? Despair, dissonance, desolation, life limiting. Good writers always make use of these things. This is called alliteration. When you repeat the same sound again and again. Despair as hopes for the future confront the inevitability of fate. So there is despair because you don't know what will happen. Dissonance between an imagined future and present reality. And the desolation of being alienated and isolated when others withdraw from her tragedy and retreat from her subjectivity. So now interesting thing. When you see something with a set of colons, now you know that whatever comes afterwards is just a description of these three words. So even if you don't read this, it's perfectly okay. When in the first reading, even if you don't read it, you know this is just going to be a description of what despair, dissonance and desolation is. So not really required to read, but hey, keep reading. In such situations, the often neglected strategy of accompaniment might be the best available option. So this is a situation where you cannot decide for that person. Solidarity will not work, but accompaniment may just work. So here is the writer coming out with a solution to the problem. The problem is, should I have opt for autonomy? Should I opt for solidarity? If I can't, so if no, then can I go for accompaniment? Yes. So this is what he is saying. Now let me explain what accompaniment means in this context. Again, the first line tells you what the writer is going to do now. So he's going to explain what accompaniment is. The performing arts offer a variety of examples to help to clarify this. In music, the accompaniment is the musical part that supports the melody or the main themes of a musical performance, as when an organist or guitarist accompanies a choir or a drummer or bass player. So now when I know what accompaniment is, now this is all example. So again, I don't really need to read it. So I can skip this portion while I'm reading. Also, I can skip this portion while I'm reading, like I said. These portions are not very important. So you can skip this and very quickly read over it and continue. So our drummer or bass player accompany a lead singer. In a dramatic film, the accompaniment is the part that supports the dramatic action, as when a musical soundtrack accompanies dialogue between actors. So all of this is still something that you can skip. You can just read very quickly over this. These examples indicate that accompanying another involves lending support to the others in ways that amplify or strengthen their effort. So now this is what the writer wanted to tell you, that this is what accompaniment is. Okay, what is accompaniment? Like solidarity. Now, so he's going to compare it with solidarity to understand that. The minute he says like solidarity. So, like solidarity, accompaniment involves one uniting with another. And then he says, but unlike solidarity. So, here is something that is very important. Now, the minute he gives you this comparison, okay, this is where something important is coming. Okay, so pay attention to the comparisons, which typically aims to correct some injustice or satisfy some need. So solidarity aims to correct some injustice or satisfy some need. Accompaniment just aims to acknowledge and engage with the efforts of others. Not for the sake of helping the other achieve some goal that's impossible to achieve on one's own, but for the sake of enriching and making manifest the value of the other's efforts. Okay, so again, so not for something, but for something. Pay attention. Again, here what is more important? When you see the not for X, but for Y, remember what is more important? This Y is more important. So what was more important? That accompaniment is for the sake of enriching and making manifest the value of others' efforts. Okay, so pay attention to this. This difference in emphasis is important. So what are you emphasizing? That you are not accompanying someone to help someone achieve an impossible goal, but you are helping them to reach a goal that they want. Okay? Okay? So you stand with them. You may not do anything. So that's the important. To accompany another is to give companionship against despair, dissonance, and desolation. Against desolation, one who accompanies offers consolation. So Pay attention. So for desolation, being with another in their solitude by creating opportunities for testimony, listening and hearing without judgment, and reinforcing the other's dignity by acknowledging their experience and struggle. So all of this you are learning what happens when you are standing with someone in desolation. Against dissonance and despair. So the next one says dissonance and despair. One who accompanies also fosters reconciliation. So he helps you reconcile or understand or engage by affirming strength and resilience, that you have the power within you. Bringing one's presence to the other's difficulties. I am here with you. Validating ways that the past pulls upon the present. So the past can help. And participating in efforts to imagine ways of transforming or reaffirming, reframing the effective significance of the other's reality. So you try and help the other person understand that the past is important, that the present has to be understood in a certain context, and you help them out. Not by actively helping them achieve their goals, but by passively staying with them and helping them understand their issues. Okay, so that is what accompaniment is. When compassion opens us to the struggles of another in situations that induce despair, dissonance, and desolation. Okay, so again, so compassion is opening us up to the struggles of such a person. It can be difficult to discern an appropriate response. So to find an appropriate response might be difficult. The temptation is to manage the other's condition. You want to do something, right? To offer, so again, something that is hyphenated is also a description. So again, you can just skip this. So to offer solutions or platitudes to approach the other objectively. So just something that we can skip, again a description. But despair, desolation and dissonance are not faults to be managed. So again, important. So I have that thought, I want to manage, but these are not thoughts that you need to manage. And efforts to the contrary deny our powerlessness against the other's vulnerability. So we don't have to manage them, but when we take that effort, we understand that we are powerless. We cannot fight the other person's vulnerability or weakness. Adopting the stance of accompaniment by contrast. So again, contrast again. So now we are talking about what accompaniment will do. Embraces the truth the other knows all too well. So you accept that they are dying. Okay, you embrace this truth that the other person also knows they are dying, and you also know that they are dying. And in doing so, embrace the other. So you accept them. It succeeds, again, not by doing something, but by doing something. So this is the more important thought, pay attention. Okay, it succeeds not by resolving problems, but by aligning with the others. So how are you succeeding? How is accompaniment helping? You are aligning with the other. Again, the hyphen means extra information. Experiencing the other's suffering in common, allowing the other's struggle to matter and affect one's own experience, and responding with speech or action or silence in ways that don't obstruct the other's effort to confront their situation. So you align with the other is going a certain way, you will go a certain way too, and that's the helpful thing. Okay, so that. Alright, so point to ponder of course. Does the author support accompaniment? Well, yes. Give me a yes or a no very quickly. If you think the author believes that accompaniment is good, in the chat, come on, everyone. Does the author support accompaniment? We'll talk a little bit about the main idea of the passage here is. Now, the main idea here, like I said, has three parts. Number one is the characters or the actors. Okay? So who are the characters here? So we understood that autonomy, solidarity, done away with. Accompaniment is the main character, and you and the other. These are the three main characters: the sufferer, the supporter, and accompaniment. These are the three main characters. What is the main idea? What is the flow of thought? The flow of thought is simple. The flow of thought was that you can have autonomy, you can have solidarity, but if you don't have either, then you can have accompaniment. Right? That was the flow of thought. So accompaniment is something, it is standing and helping by standing. So you help by being there. Okay. And then the tone of the author or the descriptions. So the tone of the author here was very positive towards accompaniment. He is suggesting, he is in fact very positive towards accompaniment. If you look at this essay, it appears as if it is almost persuading you. One, it informs you about what accompaniment is, and two, it kind of tries to put you in a positive frame of mind for accompaniment, right? So it informs us about accompaniment, and it also tries to persuade us that accompaniment is a good thing. Yes, Yash has already given me an answer. Very good, Yash. Absolutely. The author does support accompaniment by talking about it in so many good words. He does. All right, let's take a look at the questions here. What's the main idea of the passage? One must suffer alone. Suffering shared with someone is suffering reduced, and while one suffers from pain, one will give a hand to another one who suffers. Very quickly, what's the main idea here? Yes, Vaishnav, thank you. Very good, my boys and girls. Very good answer. Hmm. Yes, I've started getting my answers very quickly. While one suffers from pain, one will give a hand to another one who suffers. When we did not talk of the first person suffering, we said the first person is just accompanying the other person. So therefore, C cannot be the right answer. One must suffer alone. No, the writer said that autonomy is not really good. Solidarity may not be good, but accompaniment will help. So, suffering shared with someone is suffering reduced, and that is what he is saying here. So, the best answer in this passage will be B. Alright, let's go to the next one. Each of the following is mentioned in the passage except. So, sympathy opens our hearts to the suffering of others. We are tempted to find solutions for others' problems. We can be with someone in their suffering and not be required. Sorry. Not be required to help them actively. My fault, I have missed out this portion of somehow it has been deleted. I hope everybody has hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, well, please do it. Thank you so much, everybody. Alright, yes. So sympathy opens our hearts to the suffering of others was mentioned. So mentioned and therefore cannot be my answer. Oh, we are tempted to find my fault, huh? So sympathy opens our hearts to the suffering of others was mentioned in the passage, so cannot be the answer. We are tempted to find solutions for other problems mentioned in the passage, cannot be the answer. We can live with someone in their suffering and not be required. Well, this was what was not mentioned. My fault, guys. So this is the one that was not mentioned. I don't know why I made it true. Okay, and therefore this was the correct answer. Okay, my fault, huh? C had to be the correct answer. Yes, yes, yes. All right. The next one. What is the tone of the author in this passage? Matter of fact, ingratiating, opinionated, or angry? Very good. So is he angry? No. Is he ingratiating means to behave in an obsequious or servile manner, like a servant. So he was not obsequious or servile at all. So therefore ingratiating is incorrect. Was he opinionated? Did he really give you his opinion or was he matter of fact? That is what you need to check. So was the goal of the passage more informing or was it more persuading? Ingratiating, obsequious, servile. So yes, the writer does give you his opinion. He informs, but he also tries to persuade you that accompaniment is good. So therefore, between matter of fact and opinionated, better answer opinionated. Okay. All right. Let's get your scores in, everyone. Opinionated is the correct answer. Alright, so here is a list of my toppers of CAT 21. CAT 22, we are still going to be collecting the information and results till such time as all the final selections don't happen. So if you wish to be here, CAT 23 season is already on. Please get started with classes, etc. Congratulations to the CAT 22 toppers. Here we are. Again, panel. Okay, the Unacademy CAT 23 scholarship test happens on 15th of January and 29th of January. Ranks 1 to 5 take 100% scholarship, 6 to 25 take 50%, 25 to 50 take 30%, and 51 to 100 take 20% scholarship. 0 to Zenith started on 5th of January. The code remains the same. You can subscribe right away. I am also going to be taking classes in this class. The Zero to Zenith batch has huge USPs which you can take advantage of, including and not just study notes, 25,000 plus questions, 100 plus mocks, all these Unacademy educators, wonderful people, and so on. Mentorship from educators and graduates. If you are a CAT 22 repeater, you are writing CAT 23 again, then the batch starts for you on 16th of January. My name is Abhilasha and my code is AbhiCat Live and you can use this. Now the perfect score batch finishes the syllabus by May of 23 and then the next 6 months are intensively dedicated to practice. So that's what we will do. Alright, if you are writing GDPI, then the perfect time for you is this. 10th of January, the batch has started. Again, you can use my code to subscribe. I'm also running a course on GDPI on Let's Crack Verbal. This is your channel, so please join for that also. Crack that with the Unacademy Light subscription, 10 full-length mocks, 4 full-length mock tests for OMEDs, 25 sectionals, and practice question bank of 25,000. Unacademy subscription happens for the Plus and the Iconic subscription. We have huge subscriptions that are going on. Please take advantage of these courses, these different types of subscription and join right away. Now what's happening in my classes, guys? So we are currently doing reading comprehension in Plus. This happens at 10 p.m. every night, Monday to Friday. If you're one of my Plus students, you know where to come. If you wish to take a free class on our app, then Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. I do a free class on the app. Okay, so this is also on the app or the website. If you wish to take YT sessions, you know that Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. we do Let's Crack Verbal Pay, Hindu and Aeon. Let's Crack Verbal Pay GDPI what is also going on. 8 p.m. मैं कर रही हूँ Monday, Wednesday, Friday and 8 p.m. Shabana ma'am करेंगी Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. And on 99 Percentile Club, I'm doing Reading Comprehension Skill Builder on Tuesdays and Fridays. So you can also join me for this. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this session was helpful. And just apologies for the delay. Somehow the session was private and was not made public till we realized that. Remember to hit like, share, subscribe, and the bell icon. And also remember to use Cat Live to subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Adios, मेरे amigos. कल फिर मिलते हैं. परसों फिर मिलते हैं.